I want to start in Israel this hour. I want to show you a couple of things. Now, Israel is called monstrous because they are blowing up buildings and killing people. Okay. Israel says, well, we give them an hour to get out of the building. We alert. Okay. The same thing that the United States did. We dropped 70 million notices all over the major cities in Japan and named, I think, 10 cities where we might drop the world's most powerful bomb. We said we had it. They knew what those air raids had done over in Europe. And we said we have one bomb that will do more damage than all of the fire bombings that were done in Germany. So please get out of these cities. We sent 70 million notes. Please. It's coming. It's coming to one of these, I think 10 or 7 cities. And there will be a shortage of food, of water. Get your families out. We are not trying to destroy you, but these cities are part of your military-industrial complex, and we will destroy them. Please surrender. And if your government doesn't surrender, this is what's going to happen. Get out of those cities. Nobody ever talks about that. Nobody ever does that, except for Israel. What did you hear the Ayatollah in Iran say? Oh, by the way, we're gonna bomb. Oh, by the way, we're sending in terrorists. No, they don't do that. Nobody does that. Israel is being blamed and called a monster. They just released an audio clip of them calling a building owner, saying, we're going to bomb your building. You need to get everyone out. This isn't the first call. This is the second call. I want you to listen, and I'll translate for you. That is the Palestinian. That is the Israeli. Okay, now I want to translate what they're saying. The Palestinian says, I can't get all of the people out. I need at least 2 hours to get them out. The Israeli says, listen, we are going to bomb the building. You want to bomb? Bomb whatever you want. No, brother. We need to do everything we can so you and other people don't die. We want to die, but you have a responsibility for children's lives. If the children need to die, then they'll die. God forbid, God forbid. Why do you want to die? Now tell me that Israel is the bad guy? If children need to die, then they'll die? Okay, where does that kind of philosophy come from? Hear me, America. I told you probably 15 years ago, what is being done to us is exactly what has been done to the Palestinian people. The Palestinian people, and I realized this on my first trip to Israel. I went to Israel and I was in the old city, and it's all quartered. So there's a Palestinian section, there's a Jewish section, and when you're walking through it, because it's one small city, you're walking through it, and it's like how in America you can go from the suburbs and it's nice, and then it slowly starts to get more trash on the highway and it starts to get broken down. And then if you keep driving, a while later, you're in the slums. In Israel, in the old city of Jerusalem, because it's so small and it's so old and a walled city, you take 3 steps, literally, and you're in the slum. And so it goes from beautiful, bright, clean, well-maintained. You walk through one archway, and you're in a dirty, dingy, broken-down part. And the first time I was that's the Palestinian section of Jerusalem, and I'm walking through, and it's dark and dingy and dirty and uncomfortable. And I walk through an archway, literally, just an archway. I walk through the archway, and all of a sudden it's bright and clean and upscale stores, and it's like it's a different, entirely different place. And I stopped and I said to my guide, what just happened? Where are we? Why is this so different than what is 6 feet behind me? And the guide said, this is the Israeli section. That's the Palestinian section. So I realized that in many cases, being in the slums is a state of mind. Not in all cases, but in the case of the Palestinians, for sure. The Palestinians have been told, don't cooperate with the Israelis, don't go to work for an Israeli. They're holding you back, they're keeping you down. Israel knows the whole world is against them. The whole world doesn't want to work with the Jews. The whole world has tried to kill them 19 times in Holocausts. They know. They've just went, you know what? So then I have to count on myself. And they get the job done. And I realize it's very similar to what we have going on here in America. You have those people who are trying to keep people down by saying, you know, who's them over there? You need me because those guys, oh, they'll kill you. Those guys, they're trouble over there. They want your children to starve. They don't care about your children. They don't care about schools. They don't care about crime. In fact, the police are part of it. That's what happens in Israel. That's what's happening here. We are being balkanized. We are being split apart because of our politicians and because of our media. If we didn't have media, social media like we had right now, I contend none of this would be further. It would be moving, but we would be a much different place and be in a much better place. It's just moving at hyper speed because it's everywhere now. If you think there's a problem with critical race theory, but you don't want to get involved, let me show you when politics takes over schools, this is what happens to your children. Here are 2 kids, Palestinian kids, and they want to recite a poem about the Jews. And here it is. I'll translate. Listen to them. 2 little girls, probably 6 years old.
أنا لا أخاف البندقية فجموعكم وهم وقطعان غبية.
Okay, here's what they're saying. You can turn it down just a bit, let it run. I do not fear the rifle because your throngs are in delusion and ignorant herds. That sounds like a 6-year-old. Jerusalem is my land. Jerusalem is my honor. Jerusalem is my days and my wildest dreams. O you who murdered Allah's pious prophets, O you who were brought up on spilling blood, you have been doomed to humiliation and hardships. O sons of Zion on most evil among creations, O barbaric monkeys and wretched pigs. Jerusalem is not your den. Jerusalem opposes your throngs. Jerusalem vomits from within it your impurity, because Jerusalem, your impure ones, is pious, immaculate. And Jerusalem, you who are filth, is clean and pure. I do not fear barbarity, as long as my heart is in my Quran and my city. As long as I have my arms and my stories, as long as I am free, I do not have to barter my cause. I will not fear your throngs. I will not fear the rifle. Where do you get that? You think mom and dad are at home teaching them? I think maybe some places, yeah, sure, some homes are doing that. But for the most part, that's what they get in schools. Their school books are all like this. Once you politicize your school, you get a little Hitler Youth. Where do you think the Palestinians got these tactics? From Adolf Hitler. That's not hyperbole, that's fact. The Palestinians' Grand Mufti of the 1930s was all about Adolf Hitler because they could kill Jews. And that's what the Palestinian Authority wanted, to kill Jews. That's why Hamas, it's in its charter, kill all the Jews. That's why the Grand Mufti had plans of building concentration camps and furnaces, ovens, and gas chambers all over Palestinian land. That's what's coming. That's what's happening. That's what's now happening on our streets.